All right, welcome back. This is your flexitarian chef, Jay Tanti. We are going to make a delicious soup today, and I am using the 9-inch Saladmaster skillet, which is the little version of the 11-inch skillet. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to turn on the heat to medium. Anytime that we want to saute or fry, we want to use a little bit of a higher heat. So medium is okay. Next thing that we're going to do is for the ingredients that we have here is we have 2 tablespoons of butter. If you wanted to make it vegan, you can use coconut butter. Then I have 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme, 1 tablespoon of chopped very roughly, which is about 3 cloves of garlic. And then I have 1 teaspoon of, this is rosemary. And I have 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 cup of cream. This is half and half cream. You can use coconut cream if you like. And then I have a mixture here about 3 cups, which is probably about 4 to 6 tomatoes, depending on the size. So these are fresh tomatoes, and I have a mixture of Roma tomatoes, and also I have some heirloom tomatoes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add the butter first to the pan. Now that it's warmed up, then the butter can actually melt very easily. So it only takes a couple of minutes to get it going. Now we're going to add our garlic. And so what we're going to do is we're going to let the garlic saute there with the butter. Then we're going to add our thyme. It's always a good time to have thyme. Okay. So you could do this pretty much at medium. And then I'm going to add the rosemary. So remember, rosemary are like little pine needles, but what we're going to do is we're going to blend all this anyways, okay? So we have the rosemary right there. So make sure that the garlic is very nice and translucent before you add the rest of the stuff. So right now, I'm sauteing just the garlic, the rosemary, and the thyme. So now I'm going to add the tomatoes. And then what we want to do with this is, oh, wow, that smells delicious. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cover it. So why do we want to cover it? Because if I cover it, then it's going to saute a lot faster. So notice how like I have my hand on the top of the pan. Even though the valve is clicking, doesn't mean that it's ready to turn down to low. Because if I can still put my hand on the top, it is not ready to turn to low. The reason why it's clicking is because I had something going in there already. I had the butter sizzling, and I also had the tomatoes in there. So if I just give it a quick little half turn, it will stop because it wasn't really a true semi-vacuum yet. Okay, so what is that going to do is we're going to let it cook for about 5 minutes until the tomatoes are really nice and soft. And then once they are really nice and soft, we're going to add the cream. And of course, also to the cream, I'm going to add 1 cup of water, which I forgot to tell you earlier. So let's check on this. Oh, these are roasting pretty nicely. So I like to use a little bit of a medium-high heat, even though we always say, don't ever use more than medium when it comes to your vegetables and things. But I'm roasting right now, so whenever I'm roasting, I want to make sure that it is at about medium-high. So in the meantime, I'm also going to show you how to make a wild rice. So here it is. For the wild rice, basically what I have in here is already rice that has been already washed. So what we want to do is just add enough water that is about ½ an inch above the rice level. So never put more than that because otherwise your rice will not cook. It'll take forever to cook. So only ½ an inch above the rice grain. And then what you want to do is the same thing. You want to turn it to medium. And when the valve clicks steady, just like this, check it out how steady. All right, and now it's really hot to the touch. So now I'm cooking at 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so if I plan to open it, then of course what I want to make sure is that I keep it at the same heat. Don't turn it too low yet. All right, so let's check on the tomatoes. Now they're really nice and creamy. Okay, they're looking really beautiful. Okay, but I do want them a little bit softer. So even though they're getting really nice and soft now. Okay, so if I were you, when you're making it at home for this test, I'm going to make it while the tomatoes are a little bit raw, but when they're at home, you want to make sure that the tomatoes are really nice and soft already. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the cream. And we're going to test it for the salt. So this is almost like a half-done soup. So I'm still going to keep it at the same level. So it takes about 10 minutes to make the soup. So we're going to try it for the salt. It seems okay, but I could use a little bit more salt. I think I must have underestimated my salt in here. Okay, so that we have enough salt in there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move these out of the way. And we're going to bring our blender here. I'd never recommend to have people make soups in the blender. Sometimes when you get one of those high-speed blenders, they always tell you, oh, and you can make soup here. It's not a good idea for you to put raw and to blend it at really high, because these motors are 4,500 RPMs, and so they're really fast, and I really believe that they break down the centrifugal force of the food, and so sometimes it's like, even though it's fast to make it on the Vitamix, but I don't think it's that healthy for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is cook always the food that you're going to blend, so in that way you know that you're cooking at below boiling point, which is 185 degrees in the Saladmaster cookware. So high enough to kill the bacteria, low enough to preserve the vitamins and minerals. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put the handles on. Just press this button over here, and remember that the button's on the top, not on the bottom. So on there. And I'm going to scoop out the soup. This is looking really beautiful. Okay, so where is my spoon? Wow, this looks amazing already. Beautiful color, beautiful smell. Incredibly tasty. Okay, so just leave the pan because we're going to use it again. And what we want to do is put the lid on, secure it with the other stuff, the button on the top, and start it at low heat, at low rather than high. And now about 30 seconds. And look at this soup. Ooh, it looks delicious. Very yummy. I don't need anything else other than to put it on a delicious soup bowl, and then we can have soup for two. Very delicious. You need to make this at home in your Saladmaster. So delicious. 10 minutes, fill it up, serve it with some rice, or eat it by itself. It is a very yummy, delicious soup, loaded with a lot of vitamins and minerals. So I trust that you learned something today, and I will see you at the next video. So have a happy, healthy, and wealthy day.